One of my favorite games to play. Literally, it is the only table game I played when I saw my family several weeks ago, and I deliberately took it from our country house to the city so that when we meet we can play that. And it's called Loto. It looks a bit like this, and way before that, it's not only in Russia, it was also apparently in France. So the idea is that you're pulling these barrels. They have numbers written on them. Barrels have different names, and the goal is to either, complete the row or several columns, maybe full set. It depends on how you play this. But at some point people figured that, well, we can also be playing with cities, you see, and that's quite cool. There were geographical lotos, even with colors, and at some point I saw even some information about them. I think it's quite cool. I still remember lots of pictures and spots from there, and sometimes I travel and I was like, wow, I know that, and I know that from this game, and but now I don't know where to get it. So I was thinking, well, maybe I can do it myself. So I finally got a Lotto from Amazon. I ordered it at Amazon, I guess. And now I took some measures. Where's my measuring tape from IKEA? And basically it showed me 2 by 2 centimeters wide. These cells are, and there are margins of 1 centimeter from the edge to like start of this square. So I'm gonna have to write some code, have some soundtrack going on, and the results should look like this. So you see there's like Statue of Liberty or some buildings that are in Moscow, St. Petersburg, Paris, Brussels, and many like great pieces of art. Berlin, right? And paintings. So it's architecture, paintings, wall sculptures. But the problem is that it's not available for order. The production stopped, I don't know when. We have our set maybe from 15 or 10 years ago. It's complicated. It was in Russia, and now with this project, which I'm doing with Codex here, I will be I found some assets, and the idea is to basically print those onto the existing set. It's gonna be quite tough because it bends. I think it will work well, but we still need to write some code to have a print template so that it doesn't print over the existing data, you see, and that is problematic. What I think we're gonna do is we're gonna be using like basic A4 piece of paper. I'm gonna stack several of these, maybe 4 for each 4, and use some existing markup well, that is to figure out. Okay, so the next step I did with my script is I generated a PDF to print, and the idea is I'm gonna just glue this thing here, but you see there is a mismatch even if I place it like right in the middle, in the edge. Alright, so that it fits well top left corner. Here and there we have some gaps, and I verified it. Well, with one hand it's going to be a bit tough, but basically, yeah, we have this 10 cm scale, which I've used to check on my large display whether it's okay or not, and there's a mismatch, and we're gonna have to fix it. Apparently first try it was not what we needed. So I'm currently at the university and I printed more of these templates, and also now templates have two kind of slots so that I can fit much more onto one paper, and it will be a bit cheaper to print, because yesterday I was printing with these machines, and a guy, a technician, he opened up the thing so that I can slide in my piece of paper, my template, right, and so that it works. However, he didn't really like that he needed each time, well, I had to open up manually the machine and restart it, because with carton it wasn't as smooth as with regular paper. But now I'm gonna go to a special shop in our city center, and they said it's fine to print on carton. And this is the result. So you may notice that almost everywhere the margin is not respected by the same amount. I noticed that pretty early on, maybe on card number 3, but as long as it's the same everywhere, I'm fine by it. And in total I have 20 cards, not 24, because 4 of them we messed up with the printing templates and the cards themselves. As a note for later, I would say that probably it would have made sense to print just on paper which is pretty dense, like 250 or 300 grams per I don't know what. I've seen some paper in the atelier. It would resemble this carton. But the thing is that originally I wanted to print at the university library, where it made total sense to stick it on A4 and print on top. But yeah, as I went afterwards to the atelier, then it probably would have made sense to change the plans. However, I also need to print the numbers themselves and the paintings with the explanation, well, I mean name and author, for which I will be using this kind of paper. I will cut it down, and where is it? The plan is to glue it to this, which is meant to support tables, chairs, etc. They have a perfect size for me. They have already glue here, and what's left is to print all the numbers and all the pictures here on the same page, maybe 2, I'm not sure, to cut it down and to stick one to another, and it's gonna be it. These things, they cost for 12 about €2 maybe, and I need 90 of numbers and I think 78 6 of pictures, which will be around 40 euros. And that's it.
Oui, ça bouge tout le temps, ça bouge tous les jours. Ouais.
So it's finally done. The thing I would have done differently, it's probably I wouldn't print it on the existing piece of paper. It's much easier to have a great layout and here on this match if you print it from scratch and on thick paper, which is available at different photo shops, printing shops. It's much easier. Also, as for numbers and the like pieces of art, the ones you pull from the bag, I'm not sure yet how to do it. I don't know what's a better alternative to what we have, but even now it was alright to play it. I'm quite happy with that. Another thing which is quite important to understand is that these cells, 2 by 2 centimeters, usually it's not enough. I mean, it's quite small and you would want it to be bigger because the version we had in Russia, it was like it had larger layout. But here it had smaller layout, but I didn't really notice that. And now as we played it like first time, it was really noticeable how tiny text is, and you need to really pay attention, like to look quite close to the eye to be able to see it.